I just lugged an extremely heavy table over here to film. I look crooked. To film this video, so I need a moment to recover. Hello everybody, I'm Kristyn. You may also know me as Stilestastic on Wattpad. I've been on here for 6 years and I still don't know how to pronounce it. I asked some of you guys if you would send in questions for me to answer because in my last Q&A video, I did not like the way that I did it. I was awkward, kept moving my hair, and said every 2 seconds. So I'm back with my hair shorter and tied back, and I'm still gonna say apparently. I will try to cut back. Okay, so I'm just gonna get right into it because I'm sure you're sick of me blabbering by now. First question is, which of your OCs is your favorite? OCs means original characters, if you didn't know. Usually my favorite OC is the person that I like writing the most at the moment, which right now is Lena. The second question, which book are you most proud of? Fireheart. It is unlike anything that I've ever written. It's just a real challenge, honestly, for me to write because I'm not used to the tone or the diction that I have to use in order to convey Aries' very unique personality, you know? Tips for being motivated to write. Do not force it. Don't force it. That's the worst thing you can do, and usually it just makes your writer's block even worse. What I like to do is get myself motivated by looking through or creating boards and collections on Pinterest and WeHeart for my stories. Doing that really helps me get in the mood for what I want to write. Favorite ship in your books? Fallon and Bellamy. Get that Fallamy, man. Oh my gosh. They make me so happy. They're so domestic. They really know each other inside and out, and they would do anything for each other. It's basically my relationship goals. Favorite book you've ever read, not on Wattpad? I have way too many, but right now I really like An Ember in the Ashes, which is what I'm currently reading. I'm on book 3. I'm also a huge fan right now of Six of Crows. Biggest fictional crush? Bellamy Blake, man. Oh. He's pretty much my favorite television character ever. Maybe even Steve Rogers. It depends on the day. I like them both. One can't top the other. Peter Parker too. Everybody. They all make me feel some type of way. Favorite school subject? Probably history or English. I really like learning about the past, and I believe that if we don't learn about the past, then it's the moment we forget is the moment it's gonna come back. And also English because I love writing, but I hate writing like academic work. Do you ever get bored of writing? Do you get really inspired to write something and then after a few weeks you lose all inspiration for it? If so, what do you do if you haven't completed the story yet? I do get bored of writing, but not often. That's why I like to switch it up. Very rarely now do I write 4 chapters in a row for a certain book. I like to write for Fireheart, then Aftermath, and so on and so forth, so I'm not stuck in the same mindset all the time. It forces me to kind of be creative with what I'm doing and switch things up. I never give up on a story, which is why, as of right now, Chaos Theory and Rupture are the only ones that I've either drafted or discontinued. How did you come up with the idea of Havoc and All Her Universe? Because it's pretty damn cool how well done it is. Thank you so much. I saw Homecoming, immediately knew that I wanted to make fan fiction for it, so I spent days researching powers. I hadn't seen energy manipulation, so I was like, hey, boom. And I really wanted to create a character with a rich cultural background because you don't see that in many fan fictions. It came out of so much research because obviously I'm not Filipino, so I know I get some things wrong. It was really important to me that I included that. I wanted to make something as unique as possible, knowing that Peter was going to become very popular on Wattpad and that there would be many fan fictions dedicated to him in the future. What character do you like the most on Maze Runner? Minho. How do you say it? Thomas says Minho, so you know. I used to be a fan of Newt, but then the fandom ruined him for me, so a tip for a writer on Wattpad, it can be anything. Do your research. Do it. If you know what you're talking about, it will reflect in your writing. If you write something that you have no idea what you're saying, or if you're unsure of something, it's going to show and people aren't going to want to read. Be confident. Write like you know what you're talking about, and usually it'll work. People are less likely to read a story where things are just wrong. Do you ever plan on making small headcanons with your OCs? I don't think so, mainly because I don't like my profile being too crowded with a lot of stories. Even though I don't have that many in comparison to other people, I feel like I already have a lot of books that are dedicated to not fanfiction-y stuff, and I'm not really sure if anybody would read it. So probably not as of right now, but there is a small possibility in the future that I might. Who's your favorite OC to write, and are they the easiest or you just like them the best? I know I said that Lena was my favorite at the moment, but my favorite to write overall is Aries, because he is just completely different from anything that I've ever written. He's definitely not easy. He requires me to dig into my pettiest, snarkiest, darkest self in order for his dialogue and emotions to come out how I want them to. And it also requires me to write about topics that are pretty sensitive, you know, like poverty, alcoholism, classism, murder. Really dark parts of the 100 that most people don't consider. He has so many layers that it's really fun for me to peel them back and then kind of cover them up over and over again, depending on who he's talking to and how he feels in the moment. How do you plot an idea? Do you plot basic points and plan as you go along, etc.? I'm just curious. I keep a list of all the plot ideas that I have on my phone. I make sure to have the basic points before I even start writing. Usually the character, their main drives, the main conflict in the story, and how I want it to be resolved. Usually other smaller plot points will come to my head as I'm writing, and I'll jot them down in my phone, usually in chronological order so I don't get confused, and refer back to it every time I start a chapter to make sure I'm not missing anything. As the story goes on, I may delete or change different things. If something doesn't fit with the way that the story is developing, then I will alter it. I remember your Teen Wolf fic Chaos Theory. What were your plans for that? It was really interesting, and I totally understand you not wanting to write it because you don't have any more inspiration for it. I'm just curious on what you had planned. I decided to draft Chaos Theory because it just was getting really hard to fit Isla into different scenes. It just felt like she was following them around no matter what I did. There wasn't really any great feedback. I mean, I would get some comments, but it still wasn't enough to make me feel like people actually cared. So yeah. As for my plans, I don't think I'll be publishing it again in full, maybe just the first part, but Isla ends up with Scott. Some of my readers got that, but others didn't. Her powers are gone because of the Ghost Riders coming. Since everybody disappears, she can't see into the future anymore. Her powers do come back after the Ghost Riders are omitted. I don't even remember what happened at the end of season 6A. Then season 6B starts off with Isla still living with Scott. They're a little bit closer romantically, but still not on that level yet. They get together. I had a really interesting scene planned for the last episode where the Anukate is chasing everybody and then they turn to stone. It was gonna be really cool. I don't think I'm ever going to write it. How do you come up with the names for your OCs? I have a list of names that I want to use on my phone. They come from a plethora of different places, such as Greek mythology, this is 3 fingers, constellations, books, shows, names I hear just all around me every day. Like, for example, Cassian from Radiance is a character from A Court of Thorns and Roses. Ares from Fireheart is the god of war. And Antari from Radiance is from The 100. What do you usually have first, an outline of a character or a face claim? It really depends. Again, I have a list of face claims I want to use on my phone. Just assume that everything comes from my phone. And I'll glance at that to see if the face claim would fit in the universe that I want to write a story for. But I like to have an outline of a character because then I can choose a face claim that I know will be able to really emulate that kind of personality that I want and will be able to be a good fit for them. Were you Team Saya or Team Maria? This is a question about Deadly Class. I was Team Saya. I don't think that Maria was, mentally ready for her relationship with Marcus. I think she really needed time to focus on bettering herself rather than jumping into a relationship, which I don't think Marcus was ready for either. Considering the fact that he was obviously so into Saya from the very beginning, she really deserved better, in my opinion. I think that Marcus and Saya had more chemistry. I think that he and Saya definitely would have gotten together
if Deadly Class hadn't been cancelled.
How do you pronounce the names of your OCs, like the ones that are listed in your OC books? I'm scared I've been reading Lena's name wrong this whole time. Alright, so I'm just gonna go in order from each character that I have on my OC's book. Fallon Rivers, Dylan, obviously, Caleb Jones, Talia Forkshire, Nadia, Matthias Rutcher, Asher Holloway, Isla Wen, Antari Nightfall, Cassian Nightfall, Lena Santos, Aries Ortega, Graham Seeger, Theo. What part of you do you see or add to your characters with or without realizing it? It really depends on which character I'm writing, because obviously, I'm nothing like Aries, but I do add some of the things that I would say in a certain situation, like some of his snark comes from me, like the things that I've said in real life. Certain things that characters enjoy comes from me, like Lena's love for Lord of the Rings. Her love of Wonder Woman comes from me. Yeah, it depends on their personalities. It depends on the universe they're in, because it's harder to incorporate things that they like into a post-apocalyptic society. I don't have time to go through every single character and tell you what part of me is in them. Do I have any other Marvel fics in the works? The only one that I have is an X-Men story. I don't think I'm ever going to publish it because it's too hard to write in the X-Men universe if you're planning on doing a series. I might just keep it for First Class because, it jumps by the decades for those movies. But other than that, no, not right now. Please don't tell me you plan on killing Lena again, because my heart can't take that kind of stress. You tell me. First of all, your book is amazing, and when I see my notifications, I'm always excited to see it's from you. Second of all, what's your best tip to get a good amount of reads? First of all, thank you so much. I know I already replied to this message, but it makes me so happy. My best tip to get a good amount of reads is try to have a good cover, even if it's simple, like mine are really simple. Don't use Comic Sans or something on the cover, just something simple. If you're not graphically inclined like me, it can really go a long way, and it catches the eyes of readers. Have a decent format. Don't just chunk all of your paragraphs into one. Try to mix it up a little bit with how you want to present your story and information. Don't advertise on other people's stories. Please don't. It's very disrespectful. Don't do it on other people's message boards. Don't do it. Don't. Please. Have a good hook, because if your story starts off with the cliche Wattpad 2013 One Direction fanfiction with
I woke up to the sound of my alarm clock and my abusive mother screeching at me from downstairs.
Nobody's going to continue reading that.
You have to hook your readers in with something that is going to make them stay. Get their attention at first, use those grammar skills, and keep them there. I think that was it. Was that it? Okay. Thank you to everybody who... Am I losing my voice? Hello? Thank you to everybody who sent in questions. It really means a lot to me that you wanna... I almost just fell. It really means a lot to me that you want to engage with me and aren't scared to reach out. I hope that this was enjoyable for you to watch. I tried to limit my usage of and I didn't even really touch my hair, so I'm proud of myself for that. My throat's getting sore. I don't know what's going on. Again, I hope you enjoyed watching, and give a like, subscribe. I don't know how to YouTube. I don't know what to say. I'm gonna cut my rambling short. Thank you again. Hope you have a great day, and I will see you on my Wattpad account. Bye.